Ashley had set up a camera in her bedroom after weeks of feeling uneasy at home, mostly just to reassure herself that nothing strange was really happening. It wasn't the middle of the night either. This took place around 6 p.m. while she was busy filming other content in another part of the house. Mid-recording, she began hearing noises upstairs. At first, she brushed it off, thinking it might just be her cat moving around, but when the sounds came again, her camera caught this.
Alright, so I'm regretting putting the camera up in this room. I know we did it so we could see if anything happened, but I didn't want to see anything. Okay? And my mom's coming this weekend, so she can't know about this. I was downstairs filming content, and I heard something upstairs, but I was like, it's just Coco. She's not down here. Coco's upstairs playing. All fine. But then I heard it again, and here's what we found. Here's what we caught on the camera. And I'm not okay. I'm either going to be moving this weekend, putting the house up for sale, but I'm not okay. Send help. What do I do?
On the video, her wardrobe door could be seen opening and closing several times on its own. The movements weren't subtle either. It looked deliberate, as if someone or something was trying to get attention. Ashley rushed upstairs, heart pounding, and immediately checked inside the wardrobe. Nothing was there. No animal, no person, nothing that could have caused it. The fact that it all happened in broad daylight only made it scarier for her, and ever since, she's been second-guessing whether she should even stay alone in that house anymore. A man was walking the halls of a hospital late at night, already uneasy because of its reputation for being haunted. The building was almost silent except for his own footsteps, the kind of silence that makes every creak feel louder than it should. He filmed as he explored, narrating quietly and evidently feeling a sense of inner fear.
No mames, güey, necesito que alguien venga, güey. Se escuchan cosas, güey, y... No mames, se escucha la puta regadera, güey, del puto baño, güey. No mames. Necesito que alguien venga, güey, me estoy cagando de miedo, güey, al chile, güey. Oigan, güey. No mames, güey, no prende la puta luz, güey. No mames, Cuchi, güey. ¡No seas ojete, güey! ¡No mames! ¡No mames, güey! ¡Hay alguien, güey! ¡A la verga! ¡No mames! ¡Su puta madre, güey! ¡No mames! ¡No mames! ¡No mames, güey!
As he stepped into one of the bathrooms, the sound of running water echoed from the showers, even though nobody else was supposed to be there. He started calling out to see if anyone was inside, but instead of an answer, he caught something chilling, half of a ghostly face peeking around the corner of the tiled wall. To this day, he swears it was no trick of the light, but something far darker residing in that hospital. Adi had been dealing with constant knocking around his house for weeks, the kind of sounds that keep you awake at night and make you second-guess every little creak. On this particular night, he finally decided to get up and see what was going on. The video starts as he leaves his bedroom, following the loud banging that echoed through the hallway. He quickly identified the source, the bathroom door, where something was slamming against it. Gathering his nerves, he opened it, but the room was completely empty. He flicked on the lights to be sure, and found nothing out of place. Just as he began to calm down, another sound echoed from the kitchen, which was a heavy thud, like something falling. Rushing over, he discovered an object lying on the floor that hadn't been there seconds before. Breathing hard, he filmed the aftermath, clearly shaken, and later admitted he wasn't sure how much longer he could stay in the house. The following night, Eddie decided to leave a camera running while he tried to sleep, hoping to finally get proof of what was happening. At roughly 2 a.m., the knocking started again, echoing through the hallway in the same relentless rhythm as before. This time, though, the camera also picked up the sound of a cat meowing from nearby. The strange part was that the cat never came into view, even though the sound grew louder as if it was pacing near the bathroom door. The knocking continued in bursts, shaking the silence of the house while the camera rolled, capturing every sound. When Eddie reviewed the footage the next morning, he admitted that the combination of the meows and the knocks felt deeply unsettling, almost like the noises were feeding off each other. It left him thinking about things for sure. Eddie, determined to get more solid evidence, decided to set up a camera downstairs the following morning before heading off to work. He left the TV on quietly in the background, thinking the noise might draw out whatever was causing all the disturbances. Hours later, when he returned and checked the footage, what he saw was enough to send chills down his spine. In the middle of the day, with nobody home, a dark shadow shot across the living room, darting from one side of the frame to the other so quickly it was almost a blur. Moments later, the rug tucked behind the couch was pulled down, flattening itself on the seat with no explanation. The camera then caught a cupboard door swinging open and closed by itself, followed by the clatter of something falling from the kitchen counter just out of frame. Watching it all back, Eddie admitted this was some of the clearest and most terrifying footage he had ever captured. The fact that it all happened while he wasn't even there made it feel like whatever was haunting the house was growing bolder. He later said he wasn't sure if he wanted to keep setting up cameras because the more he recorded, the worse it seemed to get. The following CCTV footage from inside a busy playhouse seemed ordinary at first, with children laughing and enjoying their time. But then one boy let out a loud scream, his face full of panic, before bolting across to the other side of the playhouse as if he'd seen something none of the others did. A staff member rushed over to check on him, clearly concerned, and entered the small room the boy had fled from.
What happened? Were you in there? Were you in there? No. Who knocked this over? Who knocked this over? Maybe it was just air. Yeah, what was it done? Well, I could have
Just moments later, one of the toy houses in that very room began to tilt over on its own, slowly leaning before crashing down without anyone touching it. The sound startled the kids, sending a wave of upset cries through the playhouse. Watching the clip back, many were disturbed not only by the movement of the toy house, but by the timing. Whatever force was there had chosen to act right in front of children. People online called it an evil presence, saying any spirit willing to scare kids so openly had darker intentions than most. The video quickly spread as viewers argued whether this was a genuine haunting or something staged. But for those who saw the fear on the children's faces, it was hard to dismiss as anything other than real. The staff member who had rushed into the room that day later decided to record a vlog explaining what had really happened. She described the incident in detail, saying that after the toy house fell, she found out what the actual answer was, and it definitely chilled her.
I wanted to quickly show you exactly what it was that was scaring the little kid that my mom was watching. So pretty much, so firstly we have the house, and obviously you guys saw that it fell, but the other thing I wanted to point out was that it's pretty hefty, so it really doesn't make any sense that it would just fall on its own like that. So that's just something I wanted to point out. And this is the room. The crazy thing about this is that there was like markings at the top of the entranceway of like the doorway, and I guess in the video you can see hands gripping onto the doorway. I don't really know what to make of that. I thought at first that it was like bugs or something like that, but it looked almost like two hands like gripping on the top, like leading into this room, just like. But the main thing, and the reason that the little boy was screaming, is actually in here. We have this covered up for a reason. Apparently, the little boy told my mom that he saw a face in these mirrors. We already found someone who's going to take it off our hands and pick it up off Facebook Marketplace, but we have been keeping this room off limits.
It was a set of mirrors that had once been set up for the kids to play with. The boy insisted that while looking into them, he saw strange faces staring back, faces that weren't his, or any of the other children's. According to him, they were twisted, distorted, and watching him until he couldn't take it anymore, which is why he ran screaming. The woman explained that after hearing this, she and the other staff wasted no time covering the mirrors and eventually selling them off, hoping to remove whatever had caused the disturbance. She admitted she'd never seen anything like it before, and that the whole team agreed the boy's reaction had been far too real to be dismissed. The clip added another layer to the story, leaving many to wonder if the mirrors had somehow been tied to the evil presence that showed itself that day. An Asian ghost hunter who goes by The Dark is known for being paid to investigate haunted locations, often venturing into places most wouldn't dare to enter. On one of his recent investigations, he explored a large abandoned facility, carrying only a flashlight and his camera. The atmosphere was already unsettling, with every step echoing in the empty halls, but then something happened that stopped him in his tracks.
حطوا سماعة يا جماعة. بسم الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. بسم الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بكلمات.
Out of nowhere, a sheet lying on the floor suddenly flew upward into the air, as if lifted by unseen hands. The movement was sharp and unnatural, with no sign of wind or explanation for how it happened. He spun around quickly, and in that same moment loud banging noises echoed from deeper inside the building, making the situation even more unnerving. The clip ends with him frozen, torn between going to investigate and retreating, but one thing was certain: the flying sheet was far beyond anything natural. It started as just another quiet night. The woman was relaxing in her house when something caught her eye, a painting on the wall, gently swaying back and forth, without any obvious cause. It wasn't near a vent or window, and nothing else in the room was moving. Curious and a little unsettled, she pulled out her phone and started filming.
I thought I saw the picture move. Oh my God, I did see it move. What was that? Oh my God. Oh, this gave me the chills. Oh man. Okay. That's the pots and pans moving. What is that? Why are the pots and pans moving? Oh my God. Shit.
The painting continued to shift rhythmically, as if nudged by invisible hands. She decided to check the kitchen next, and what she found made her stop in her tracks. The pot and pan rack hanging from the ceiling was swinging steadily, as if recently pushed. Then, as if on cue, something suddenly fell from the tabletop with a loud thud. There was no one else in the house, no tremor, no reason for anything to be moving. Shaken by what she saw and felt, she reviewed the footage and couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Since that night, she's kept her camera close and her lights on, unsure what might happen next. James and Tyler were just out looking for a thrill, exploring an old, supposedly haunted house they'd heard rumors about for years. With their gear, camera ready, they decided to film the whole thing from the moment they stepped inside.
So, let's go in the house. Do we go in the warehouse or the...
Let's go in the regular house.
Alright.
What the hell? Dude, seriously. Whatever happened to this fucking house?
I don't know.
Look at your stairway. What is that?
I think it used to be a garage or something.
No, because the garage was that. It had to be.
Yeah, that's like a warehouse, man.
Look at the roof, it's all fucked up.
Where?
In there, shit, look.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. What the? Look at that shit.
Huh?
The glass. The oven. The oven door.
Where?
In the middle of the living room.
The roof is off. Holy shit! Dude! Oh my... Go! Go! I could have sworn a person. Dude, there's a person. Holy shit. Yeah, there is. Nick, I'm not. Fuck.
The footage shows the inside of the house in total disrepair. Dust, broken furniture, and rubble scattered across every room. As they move through the chaos, the one holding the camera pans upward, and that's when it happens. A faint, ghostly figure walks silently across the landing above them. It's transparent, slow, and eerily calm. The boys freeze for a moment in disbelief before panic takes over. They bolt out of the house, slipping on the debris as they sprint toward the front door. Outside, they barely catch their breath before vowing never to go back. Whatever that thing was, it was enough to make them stop laughing about ghosts for good. In the following video, a trio consisting of one boy and two girls had been hearing stories for years about their school being haunted. Whispers of strange figures in the halls, books falling on their own, and unexplained noises after dark were passed down from class to class. Curious and determined to get proof, they signed up for chess club just to have a reason to stay late. When everyone finally cleared out, they slipped into the main building with a camera, hoping to find something.
So we're here at Garland High School right now. We're looking for a ghost because apparently a girl died in the cafeteria, and we're trying to find her. So,
she was a big bitch. She was at a dance.
Yeah, and
so they say she's wearing this long, flowy dress. Looks kind of ethereal or something.
Yeah,
ethereal, you know, like ghosty or angel-y.
I don't know, but so we're trying to find something, and we don't know what we're trying to find exactly. And so we think she died here, obviously, because this is where they held the dances. And
what the f*** is that? Oh my god.
What was that noise?
Did you see it?
Did you hear that?
Oh my god, help! Dude.
What?
Oh my god. What is that?
What?
Did you see it?
As they set off to wander the dim corridors, a ghostly apparition suddenly jumps out from around the entrance to a staircase and vanishes just as quickly. The moment is quick, but terrifying. None of them saw it coming. All three scream, turn, and sprint down the hallway in a panic, their fear echoing louder than their footsteps. They didn't go back for their chessboards. After reviewing the footage at home, their shock turned to silence. It wasn't a shadow or a trick of the light. Someone, or something, had jumped out at them. The school never felt the same after that night, and none of them dared stay late again. A husband and wife were getting ready to put their daughter in bed one night when something nobody expected happened. The time was 9 p.m. and the husband started asking his daughter if she was ready for bed, and the energetic girl denied this. Every single time he asked, she would beg for 5 more minutes, and eventually, the wife left the room to go to bed and left the husband to it. This is what happened.
Hey girlie, you ready to take a nap?
No.
No? 5 more minutes, then we have to go sleep, okay? We're gonna have to turn Peppa Pig off.
No.
I'm sorry, I know.
Out of nowhere, the toy cabinet behind the gate opened and spilled its contents onto the floor in an aggressive manner. Neither the girl or father knew what caused this to happen, but they both ran to tell the mother of the family very quickly. From this point and forwards, the little girl has nightmares about ghosts, and I pray that they end up coming to a halt sooner rather than later. In the following video, a trio consisting of one boy and two girls had been hearing stories for years about their school being haunted. Whispers of strange figures in the halls, books falling on their own, and unexplained noises after dark were passed down from class to class. Curious and determined to get proof, they signed up for chess club just to have a reason to stay late. When everyone finally cleared out, they slipped into the main building with a camera, hoping to find something.
Like, I swear to God, there's something in my closet. This just keeps making noise. I don't know if y'all, like, heard that or anything, but I swear. I know, like, look. Oh my God. There's, like, no one doing that. That's... What? Dude. Oh my God. Okay, I know I'm not crazy. It just happened the past 4 nights. Everyone keeps saying I'm crazy. Oh my God. Oh.
As they set off to wander the dim corridors, a ghostly apparition suddenly jumps out from around the entrance to a staircase and vanishes just as quickly. The moment is quick, but terrifying. None of them saw it coming. All 3 scream, turn, and sprint down the hallway in a panic, their fear echoing louder than their footsteps. They didn't go back for their chessboards. After reviewing the footage at home, their shock turned to silence. It wasn't a shadow or a trick of the light. Someone, or something, had jumped out at them. The school never felt the same after that night, and none of them dared stay late again. Two little girls were sitting at the dinner table, enjoying their meal, while their mom kept an eye on them from across the room. Everything seemed normal at first, but one of the girls suddenly stopped eating and stared past the camera, her expression turning from confused to terrified.
Finish eating.
When I'm done, can we get our fries?
Yeah.
I just... What? Don't scare me.
What?
I'm scared. It's okay.
I just turned off the lights, that's all. What was that?
I'm scared.
What are you doing? Oh, what, Nani? Look at me. What are you scared of? The fish? Oh, the fish died.
What?
Angel's sleeping already. It's raining, girls. Nani, are you almost done eating? Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. But you gotta listen to me. Turn around. Look at me. What's the matter?
She pointed towards something in the corner, insisting she saw something, while her sister laughed and teased her for being scared. But then the girl screamed and bolted into their mom's arms, shaking. The laughter quickly stopped when the second girl looked in the same direction and her smile vanished. Her face twisted in fear as she too ran crying into her mother's arms. But the strange thing is, neither their mom nor the camera caught anything unusual in that direction. Whatever they saw, it wasn't visible to anyone else in the room. After that night, both girls refused to eat in that room again. Angel Martinez was a man with no superstitious beliefs whatsoever, but when he heard about a haunted complex from his brother, he had to investigate. Roughly 2 months ago, his brother was forced to move out of the house because his parents started charging a ridiculous rent, so he went to stay in a small and cheap apartment complex. This was a big move for him, and he was super nervous, and this only enhanced when he realized the place was haunted. He kept informing Angel Martinez of this, and despite having no belief, Angel trusted his brother more than anyone else, so agreed to come and check it out, and he actually found something. Take a look.
Entonces, ¿qué es eso que se escucha? ¿Qué es eso que se escucha? Bueno. Hola, 100 puta. Hola, 100 puta.
For quite some time, nothing happened, and Angel was seriously considering that his brother might have started going crazy. But then, the event took place. A ghostly apparition walked across the second floor of the complex, and it was very obviously not human. You'd expect Angel to become scared and run away after this though, but he didn't. He stayed strong. Next, he decided to walk around the back to the area that used to be a school, and the room there has not been occupied for 15 years. This might just be why.
Mira, estoy grabando esto. Bueno, estoy un poco asustado, pero igual. Mira, esa luz, esa aula está llevada, pero esa luz quedó encendida cuando se fueron. Ya el colegio tiene mucho abandonado. Mira, la luz se enciende y se apaga cuando yo estoy largo, pero cuando yo me acerco, mira lo que pasa. Ahorita se enciende y se apaga. Ahora mira, ahorita cuando me acerco, mira. Mira, yo sé que puede ser una falla porque está ese cepo parpadeando. Ajá, yo lo entiendo. Pero yo no entiendo por qué cuando yo me acerco, mira, no ha parpadeado ni una vez. Y el aula está enllavada porque así la dejaron los maestros. Ahora mira cuando yo es que ando tartamudo del asustado que estoy. Ahora mira cuando yo me alejo. Mira, ¿ya viste? Mira. Ahora mira cuando me acerco. Mira. Nada. Ahora mira ahorita que es que estoy tartamudeando. Ahora mira ahorita que me aleje. Ahí está. No fregué. No creo que sea un defecto del aula. Mira, se apagó. No creo que sea un defecto del aula, pero lo que voy a hacer es que me voy a encerrar allá donde estoy cuidando. Es que mira, aquí es bien oscuro. A veces hasta esa luz le agarra así. A todas las luces le agarra así. Mira, sigue parpadeando, mira. Ahora, si yo me acerco rápido, corriendo, para no darle tiempo. Nada, mira. ¡Ah! Ahí está. Ya no se volvió a apagar.
The lights were flickering as if there was some sort of electrical issue, but it was too coincidental that it stopped whenever Angel walked away. This place was haunted as hell, and he could resonate with his brother now and help to convince the wider family. Ever since he was young, Marcus had been fascinated with the underground. He loved the stillness, the echoes, and the sense of mystery that came with exploring places most people would never see. Over the years, he had taken up caving as a hobby, often bringing his loyal dog along for company. On this particular day, he decided to explore a cave system he hadn't visited before, curious to see what secrets it might hold. With only his headlamp and his dog's eager excitement to guide the way, they ventured deep inside.
out. Come here. Come on. Come on. Go. Misty. About this, Misty. Keep looking. Stay behind me. What the fuck is that? Oh shit. Go. Come on, Missy. Come on, Missy.
The footage shows them carefully making their way through narrow passages until they eventually reach a dead end, where dozens of bats hang above, prompting Marcus to turn around. After walking back for only a short time, the beam of his light catches something ahead, a tall, human-like figure standing in the darkness. It was far too unnatural in movement and presence to be anything ordinary. Without a second thought, Marcus grabs his dog and bolts for the exit, the sound of his hurried footsteps echoing through the cave as they escape into daylight. Even now, he says he can't explain what he saw, and maybe he doesn't want to. Dre and his friend had been hanging out one evening when a series of strange noises started coming from the attic. At first, they brushed it off, thinking it might just be the wind or an old house creaking, but the sounds kept happening, louder each time. After a bit of debating, they decided to check it out for themselves. Climbing up into the dim attic, they were hit with an instant feeling of unease, like they were being watched. The air felt heavier, and both of them agreed it didn't feel right.
Alright, remember, I gotta turn this thing on here. Recorder's on.
Alright, we got the cripple.
Yeah, I'm the cripple. I'm the EVP director.
The EVP specialist. And let's see if I can do this. Got myself, Trey, and we're up here because we heard some noises earlier, and we're trying to figure out if we can catch a little bit more, or try to piss this thing off enough to let us know that it's here.
I heard you up here last night. Make a noise. I kept on hearing stuff in the back of the attic, on the back there on the right, like it was something hiding back there. I got it on the recorder, like all these little bangs and scratching noises. And just for the record, there's no wildlife up here. What's your name? Stop hiding and show yourself.
Give us a sign. What the hell was that?
Did you see something?
We just got something on video.
What was it?
Oh my gosh, what was that? Hang on, we gotta stop this.
What did it look like?
In the footage, the camera pans across the far end of the attic, just in time to catch a sudden movement in the shadows. Nobody else was in the house, and no one could have been hiding there without them seeing. The encounter left them certain they had just come face to face with a ghost. Mykolenko is one of those rare ghost hunters whose reputation speaks for itself. Known for his sharp instincts, unshakable composure, and years of experience investigating some of the most infamous haunted locations, he's built a name for himself as the guy who gets results. Clients trust him because he doesn't just chase shadows, he documents them with undeniable clarity. So when he was offered $500 to prove a paranormal presence in a suburban home that had been giving its owners sleepless nights, he didn't hesitate. In the footage, Mykolenko is standing well across the room, far from the old wooden cabinet in question. Without warning, the cabinet begins to shake violently, sending several objects crashing to the floor. The angle is perfect, clear, steady, and without any sign of wires or tampering. The homeowners were convinced on the spot, and true to his word, Mykolenko delivered the proof and walked away with the full $500 in hand. If you want more investigations like this, make sure to subscribe. Mykolenko will be appearing in future videos, and you don't want to miss what he uncovers next. A man was relaxing in his bedroom late at night when a sudden aggressive rattling of a nearby door jolted him upright. At first, he thought it might be the wind, or maybe someone else in the house, but the sound was too intense and frantic to be either. Grabbing his camera, he stepped cautiously out of bed, his breathing already quickening as he edged closer to the source. The footage shows him standing right next to the door as the handle shakes violently on its own. Without warning, the door swings open and then closes again, all while the handle continues to tremble as if being gripped by invisible hands. His loud, panicked breathing fills the audio, making the moment even more unsettling. After the incident, he admitted he didn't sleep for the rest of the night. The next day, he began researching and reaching out to local paranormal hunters, determined to bring in someone experienced who could explain or confront whatever was in his home. Valentina was at the hospital late one evening, sitting in the hallway while her father was being treated. She had no idea that at this exact point in time, her father had already passed away. She was scrolling through her phone, trying to distract herself from the stress, when something caught her attention out of the corner of her eye.
No. Ay, no puede ser, mira.
No, mira.
Es una fantasma acá, loco.
No te puedo creer, la puta madre. No, lo que le parió. No.
The wheelchair her father regularly used began to roll forward completely on its own, moving smoothly across the corridor without anyone near it. Valentina froze, her fear mixing with confusion as she stared at the empty seat. Later, a nurse informed her that her father's heart had stopped just 2 minutes before the wheelchair had moved. The timing left her shaken, wondering if this was her father's way of saying goodbye. Marcos had just returned home from a long shift at work and was winding down for the night, watching TV in her room. It was quiet, the kind of stillness that usually meant nothing out of the ordinary would happen. But then she heard it, a distinct thud from just outside her bedroom door, like something heavy had fallen. At first, she thought she imagined it, but the sound was too real to ignore. Curious and a little uneasy, she grabbed her phone and started recording before going to check. She slowly opened her bedroom door and immediately spotted an object lying on the floor in the hallway, something that definitely hadn't been there before. As she processed what she was seeing, a chair further down the hall suddenly slid across the floor directly toward her, stopping just a few feet away. Marcos backed up quickly, her breathing picking up as fear set in. Later, she admitted she didn't sleep in her room that night, and was now considering having a paranormal investigator come to see what she might be dealing with. Fabian was sitting in his room watching TV when he heard the familiar sound of his dad's car pulling into the driveway. He quickly turned his head toward the window, trying to catch a glimpse of him arriving. While Fabian's attention was fixed outside, the doll on his bed shifted suddenly, moving in a way that was far from natural. Fabian had no idea. He only turned back a moment later and hurried out of the room to greet his dad. Later, his mum reviewed the security footage from his room and was left stunned by what she saw. The doll had been perfectly still before, and there was no one near it when it moved. The unsettling discovery has her seriously considering moving out before whatever caused it decides to do more. Late at night in Mexico, a family was winding down when one of them claimed to see something strange moving outside from their bedroom window. They described it as a white cloak drifting through the street. so the father decided to head downstairs and step outside to record whatever it was.
Ya, loco, graba. Míralo ahí, loco, míralo ahí. ¿Y qué? ¿Qué está haciendo? Yo te dije, loco, se parece a Martín, loco, el que murió. Cierra la puerta. Cierra la puerta. Llama a papi. Papi, ven que aquí hay una cosa rara, yo no sé qué es. Mira, llámalo, ve. Cierra la puerta. Ay, Dios mío. Mira. Ay, Dios. Llama a papi.
In the footage, a white bedsheet-like shape can be seen floating and twisting through the air, moving in a way that didn't match any breeze. It glided across the road, almost deliberately, before disappearing into the deep shadows beside another house. The family was left unsettled, unsure if it was some elaborate prank or something far stranger. Neighbors have since been warned, but the mystery remains unsolved. Christopher Aron was walking around his daughter's bedroom, just tidying up and making sure everything was in order before bedtime. It was a quiet night, but as he moved through the room, he couldn't shake the strange feeling crawling over him. It was like the air had shifted, or as if he wasn't completely alone. Trusting his instincts, he pulled out his phone and started recording, hoping he was just being overly cautious.
Cat's downstairs. It wasn't her. I guess that's my son. Any other signs? Can you open the other door? Can you open the other oven door? Will you open the other door? Thank you. Now I know you're here. Can I get any other sign? Any other sign at all?
In the footage, the toy oven door slowly creaked open by itself. There's no one near it, no vibrations, no obvious cause. The motion is smooth and unsettling, as if something unseen had deliberately opened it. Christopher stands still for a moment, caught off guard, then lowers the camera with a confused expression. After checking the toy thoroughly and finding nothing wrong, no loose parts or built-in springs, he steps out of the room. He replays the footage a few times in the hallway, growing more uneasy with each watch. It wasn't dramatic, but it felt too intentional to ignore. Something about that quiet, controlled movement gave him chills. He doesn't want to jump to conclusions, but he also can't forget what he saw. Whatever is happening, it's real enough to keep him on edge. Just after midnight, Leandro was lying in bed when he heard strange rustling noises coming from the back room. At first, he thought maybe something had fallen, but the sounds kept going, too sharp, too deliberate. Curious and slightly on edge, he grabbed his phone and walked over to check it out.
1 de julho de 2023. Nunca deixe sua porta aberta, ou isso vai acontecer na sua casa.
Será que é gato que tá aqui? Mexendo nas coisas? Mas não tem ninguém aqui. Ai, caramba. Acho que tem alguém aí. Que isso? Para! Que isso? Quem tá aí? Tranquei.
Deus, cara. Mãe,
O que tá acontecendo?
não sei, parece que tem alguém aqui.
Nossa, tem que parar de ver esses vídeos aqui, eu tô com medo já dessas coisas. Não tem ninguém,
Mas-
tem batendo na porta e vem aqui.
When he opened the door, the entire room was in disarray. Items were scattered all over the place, as if something had been tearing through it in a frenzy. It reminded him of the way a cat might destroy a room, but the problem was, he didn't have a cat. He stood there in silence for a moment, trying to process what he was seeing, then stepped back out and shut the door. That's when the handle began to rattle violently, like something was trying to get out. Startled, Leandro flung the door open again, but this time, the room was completely still. No movement, no sound, no sign of anyone or anything inside. He checked the back door too, just in case. It was locked, deadbolted, no way in or out. Now he's even more unsettled than before, knowing whatever it was didn't leave through the door, if it left at all. It was just past midnight when the mother heard her baby moving around through the monitor. At first, it sounded like normal restlessness, but something about it made her uneasy. She grabbed the infant optics camera and tuned in for a better look, just to be sure everything was all right.
Okay. That's not possible. Is that the light? What the fuck is that? What is that? What is it? Look at the way. Look! It's lingering. Is it the light outside? Like, what is happening right now? There's no other light. How is this possible? Like, there's no pinhole empty. Like, the curtains, I pulled the curtains closed. You guys, what the fuck is this? And it's not leaving. It's getting near her. Oh my god. Did she just touch it? Where did it go?
On the screen, a strange glowing orb was floating slowly around the crib. It wasn't dust, and it wasn't a reflection. The light had direction, almost like it was exploring. Then it drifted closer to the baby, and just as her child reached out and touched it, the light vanished instantly, as if it had never been there at all. The mother's heart dropped. She rushed into the room but found nothing unusual, just her baby lying calmly in the crib, looking up at her. The whole thing felt surreal. She checked the camera feed again to make sure she hadn't imagined it. The footage was still there, clear as day. Some believe orbs like that are signs of spirits or lingering energy, and if that's true, she's not sure what it wanted with her child. Since that night, she hasn't left the camera off for a single second. Jason and a few of his friends were messing around inside the old county jail, a place long since shut down and barely touched. His dad knew the building manager, so getting access wasn't hard. They weren't ghost hunters, not even close. They were just teenagers filming a parody of those ghost shows, goofing around and pretending to chase spirits. Nothing serious, just laughs. But everything changed when they got back and started editing the footage.
Alright, so we're in the phase of the investigation now where everybody breaks off in their own little areas with, a handy cam, and we're just sort of checking around to see if we can find anything on our own. And hopefully, each one of us finds our own evidence, our own personal stories. Just sort of checking around.
In one of the shots, as Jason walks past a holding cell window, something unnatural comes into view. There's a face, clear as day, right behind the glass. It's not Jason, and it's not his friends, who were all accounted for at the booking desk behind the camera. The cell itself was locked and being used for storage. But in the frame, a man's face is pressed against the glass, like he's screaming in silence. And as Jason's body moves past the window, the face fades away like smoke. They hadn't noticed it while filming, only later. Jason swears that room was empty. He doesn't know who it was, and he doesn't really want to. Whatever they caught in that cell wasn't part of the joke. William Davies had long suspected his house was haunted, but that night he felt something more than just eerie. A cold chill made him uneasy, like something bad was about to happen. Wanting to capture whatever was causing the strange sensations, he set up his camera in the kitchen and started recording.
Shit. The fuck? Can't be normal. I can't take any more of this. Battery's going dead. Fucking piece of shit. What? Makes no fucking sense. Something's there. Something's definitely there. You alright, Benja? You alright? Can you send some? You can send some, can't you? They're there, aren't they? I can see you, just see you in the corner there, dog.
The footage shows the cupboard door opening all by itself. William quickly closes it, but moments later it opens again on its own. He shuts it once more, only to feel a sudden movement behind him. He turns around slowly, his heart pounding, convinced something unseen is right there. The atmosphere in the room feels heavy and filled with a dark presence. William didn't stay to find out more. He decided it was time to call in professional help to figure out exactly what was haunting his home. Whatever was there wasn't going to let him rest easy anytime soon. Wyatt's daughter suddenly started crying in the middle of the night, so he went into her room to check on her and decided to record just in case something unusual was happening.
Days like today are no fun. No fun at all.
Is it real?
Yeah.
Can I get it now?
Stay there. Come on, buddy. Yeah, you can go. All right. It's okay.
The footage shows the basement door rattling heavily on its own. Wyatt walks over and checks behind the door, but finds nothing there. Then the pantry door starts rattling the same way, and he moves back and forth between the two doors, each time finding no explanation for the noises. Feeling unsettled, he chooses to take his daughter back to her room to calm her down. After that night, Wyatt decided it was time to bring in a priest to bless the home, hoping to put an end to whatever restless presence was causing the disturbances, and finally bring some peace to his family. Whether this solution worked or not, I do not know, but all I can do is wish this family all of the luck that I can. A big family was all gathered in the living room, excited because the eldest brother had just come home and they were planning to go to the movies soon. While everyone was getting ready, one of the kids asked for some cereal from the pantry. A week later, out of curiosity, they decided to watch back some footage from that day.
Jody, what are you doing?
Waiting for you. When are we gonna go see the movie?
After we eat, we'll go to the movie. My dad is in town. Mike Webb, say hello.
Hello, say hello.
Hello, and my new mom.
Can I get something to eat?
Yes,
All right.
go for it.
Just cereal for now. And eat on the counter. Cheerio.
Jody, you're not feeling good? Oh, no. After the movie, you'll feel fine.
As the camera pans toward the pantry, a shadowy figure can be seen standing just inside, staring right at them. The spirit's presence was unnoticed at the time, but now it is clear something or someone was watching them that whole afternoon. The family is left shaken, but also curious about what else might be lingering in their home. They have started considering calling in a professional to investigate further, hoping to understand if the presence is harmless or something they need to take seriously. For now, they are on high alert, keeping a closer eye on the pantry and the rest of the house. The family kept noticing more strange things happening around the pantry. The main issue was that the pantry would open by itself every night it was closed when they went to sleep, but mysteriously open by morning. The eldest son decided to stay up one night and film it for himself.
Okay, it's 12:34. September 19th. Nothing so far.
In the footage, the pantry door slowly creaks open on its own again, and just as the kid reaches out to close it, a ghostly apparition appears pressed against the glass, its hands clearly visible. Shocked but determined, he quickly opens the pantry door to check if someone or something was really inside, but there was nothing there. The family is now more unsettled than ever and debating whether to bring in a specialist or try to cleanse the house themselves as they try to figure out what the spirit wants and how to safely move forward. Expert John came around to investigate, confident he would quickly prove there was nothing going on. At first, nothing happened, and he started to think the eldest son was just imagining things, but then things took a turn.
Hi, I'm John. It's day 10, 12:03 a.m. Still nothing happening.
Yeah, what is that? It's like breathing. Come from the pantry. No. Oh, here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Go, 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 go. Oh, man. Go up. Go, go. Go up. What the hell is that? Do you feel anything? I do. It's cold. What the hell is that? Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. The hell is that? Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Go, go, go. What? Go in. Go, go. Dude. Look out, look out, look out, look out. Oh my god. What the? I don't know. That's crazy. Dude. I told you. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Go, go.
In the footage, you can hear slow, heavy breathing coming from behind the pantry door, and soon after, the same ghostly hands appear pressed against the glass again. John reaches out and actually touches them, but before he can react, a sudden face jump scares him on camera. When he opens the door, there's still nothing there. After this intense encounter, the family decided it was time to seriously consider moving out. They just couldn't live with whatever was haunting their pantry and disrupting their lives. Helen's Homestead is a YouTube channel that documents explorations of paranormal places, but they are much smaller than the huge ghost hunters that you usually see on this channel. The following video was an adventure into a Scottish castle, and there was no doubt it was haunted according to the locals. So much of the castle was occupied by slaves and dungeons containing prisoners, so it is no surprise that they all stuck around to spread their wrath on visitors of the castle. Helen didn't think it was real, but explored anyway.
Catherine. Within its labyrinth of hallways and rooms, there's no sign of ghosts, but there's one place I haven't checked.
It's now nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm down here in the dungeon. We were having dinner earlier tonight down here. And it's definitely a very, very different mood now. The rest of the castle have gone to bed.
Now I should point out I'm the only one in the dungeon. Just me and my camera, and I'm facing the only doorway.
So, had no signs of her tonight. But if ever you were going to see a ghost, you think it would be here. So maybe it's all just rubbish. Maybe it's all just hocus pocus. Maybe there is no such thing as ghosts whatsoever. Anyway, I'm prepared to wait. Catherine. Oh, Catherine.
The chair next to me is about to start thumping on its own. You'll be able to clearly hear it.
It's creeping me out now. Okay, I get it. I'm going. Okay, Catherine, I get it.
Then something moves in the dungeon, but I'm not staying to find out what it is.
I'm freaking going. I'd like to think I'm a pretty rational person. But, if you're interested to play back what's on that tape.
The chair banging on its own with such purpose is what scared me. And an intense electric feeling down the right side of my face and head.
I don't know if you can see that, but I'm shaking like a leaf. Anyway,
during the daytime, literally nothing happened to suggest that this place was remotely haunted, and Helen was starting to believe that maybe this place was just a myth used to create a tourist attraction. However, the basement changed things. Out of nowhere, the chair started thudding as if someone was swinging on it, and when Helen was sent running out of the room, something left in there moved next. It was good content for the YouTube channel, so the team packed up the next day and left, not wanting to disturb the spirit. Our next clip was captured by a more high-profile ghost hunter on YouTube, and the name of their channel is Memoria Sobrenatural Inc. And from the name, you can tell they are not English. Fortunately, they dubbed their videos into the English language though, meaning we can get a full glance into this paranormal investigation. It took place in a house that someone was interested in buying, but wanted to check the status after suspicion of paranormal activity. This is what the ghost hunter was able to find.
Foi encontrado o corpo do homem aqui dentro. E ele quer deixar uma mensagem, mas o quê? Não me recordo desse varal aí em cima, com um negócio pendurado. Talvez essa aqui seria a cama aonde ele dormia? Ou talvez seria a cama de outra pessoa e o quarto dele seria outro. Opa! Olha isso! Olha isso! Olha isso, mano! Olha isso, pessoal! Cara do céu, velho! Minha nossa! Cara do céu, é assustador! Quem é que está aqui próximo a mim? Escuta isso! Escuta isso! Ó! Tá pra cá! Ó! Tem alguma coisa pra cá! Opa! É aqui! Ai! Olha aqui, ó! Olha o quadro, mano! Olha o quadro! Rapaz do céu! Tá me retorcendo aqui, velho! Ai, minha garganta seca! A minha garganta tá seca, cara! Eu quis dizer sobre outro quarto desse aqui, ó! Com essa cama! A minha garganta tá seca, velho! Bicho do céu!
It was extremely obvious that this place was ridiculed with poltergeists, and it was not a nice one. The man behind the camera claimed afterwards that he felt a horrible feeling all the way down his spine, and this feeling only happens when there is an evil presence inside of the room. This meant that whatever was inside of here would not be hard to get rid of, and I wish luck to whoever that task gets given to. It's bad enough experiencing haunting things as a ghost hunter, but imagine suffering from paranormal activity as an innocent man. Brugi was your regular person living a regular life in his house, but suddenly it started to become riddled with haunted activity. For quite some time, he couldn't figure out what it actually was, but eventually, it started opening up more and more, with this video being one of them.
Está dormido, ya hasta se me quiere regresar la comida. Estético usa todo hasta allá. Imagínense qué tan grande está. O sea, real es todo este pedazo. Ay, cabrón. Seguro se grabó. No. Falta este pedazo.
Now he seemed to become stunned after looking up into the attic, and despite not being able to make anything out myself, perhaps he saw something that I couldn't, and there are cases of this happening to people. This will also help experts identify the type of spirit, so hopefully Brugi contacts one and finds out. Kubo, a regular guy who often shares random late-night thoughts and life updates on his page, wasn't someone you'd typically associate with anything paranormal. He lives in a quiet home, in a quiet neighborhood, and nothing out of the ordinary had ever really happened there. But this particular night felt different. According to him, the air had a strange stillness to it, almost like the house itself was holding its breath. Everyone else was out, so he was completely alone. Just him, the silence, and whatever was about to happen. He'd already brushed his teeth, shut everything down, and climbed into bed like usual. He was just about to scroll for a bit before sleeping when it began.
You're knocking on my bedroom door. Hello? Hello? Just leave it alone.
The bedroom door beside him started knocking. Not a single tap or a faint creak, but a sudden and aggressive series of knocks like someone wanted in. Kubo got up slowly, clearly confused and unnerved, and moved toward the door. But as he stepped out to check, the door across the hallway, totally closed a moment earlier, swung shut right in front of him. No wind, no one else in the house, just that eerie moment captured on film. He stood frozen, breathing heavily, the silence even heavier than before. The clip cuts there, but Kubo later said he stayed up the entire night, unsure of what he'd just witnessed. The following day, Kubo tried to brush off what had happened. He told himself it was probably something with the pipes, or maybe the house settling. Still, the way that hallway door had slammed shut, he couldn't quite shake the image from his mind. That night, even though nothing had happened all day, he found himself double-checking locks and lights, making sure everything was exactly as it should be before heading to bed. He even left a few hallway lights on, just in case. Still, when he finally settled into bed, there was a part of him hoping it really was over. But it wasn't. It was sometime around 2 in the morning when he first heard it. This low, shifting noise coming from inside his bedroom. Not loud, but unmistakable. Almost like fabric dragging against itself, or something brushing against the floor. He sat up slowly, unsure if it had come from his dream or from the room itself. The noise came again. He reached for his phone and began recording, the screen casting a soft glow across the room as he panned it toward the source.
I know I haven't posted in a couple days, but I've been staying out of my room because it just got to be too much, but I swear, I've been hearing voices coming from there the last like 20 minutes.
What the camera caught next only lasted a split second, but it was enough to send chills through anyone watching. Hanging in thin air was one of his shirts. It hovered mid-air for maybe half a second, as if being held by something invisible, before dropping straight to the ground with a soft thud. There was no breeze, no vent nearby, nothing that could have caused it. Kubo gasped and pulled back, muttering something under his breath. The clip ended with the camera pointed toward the floor, his voice shaking, whispering that he didn't know what he just saw. In the hours after, he didn't go back to sleep. He sat on the edge of his bed, lights on, heart racing. Even when the sun came up, the image of that levitating shirt kept playing over in his head. For someone who'd never believed in anything paranormal, this was starting to feel too real. FIFA is a popular game for many and has been for years. It's probably the best video game remake of the sport, hence its popularity, and the victim of this next clip, Eiji, was casually enjoying it. He had just finished a really long shift at work, so needed some gaming time to wind down. Little did he know that it'd have the opposite effect. It was literally going to stress him out 100 times more than work ever could.
Astagfirullahaladzim.
Astagfirullah. Ini jam berapa sih? 11. Stop. Jing dalam keadaan nyala ya.
Out of nowhere, the keyboard started playing when he scored, and he went over to prove that it was fully working. The camera also showcased that his wife was fast asleep, so she could not have had anything to do with the incident. Whatever made this happen was an unnatural cause, and the only person who even has a slither of hope stopping them is a ghost hunting expert. The following video took place when a man heard something, but he was unable to pin where it was. In case it was a neighbor or something minor like that, he chose to ignore it and continue watching television. However, every minute or so, the noise would happen again, and it got to the point where even if it was a neighbor, they deserved to be told to shut up anyway. The man stood up, mobile phone in hand, walking around the house double-checking that it definitely wasn't in his home before complaining, and he's lucky he did. Take a look.
Alright, I have to start recording again. I know I just heard something. You guys are seeing this, right? You gotta be joking me. What? You gotta be joking me. Oh, jeez.
Strangely, a small human figure was pressing itself against the door, and this was creepy as hell, for obvious reasons. I don't know a single person in the entire world who wouldn't feel fear in the face of something like this, and you could feel the fright in the voice and movements of the man behind the camera. For the next few days, he and his children were living on edge and praying that whatever thing was left them alone. Fortunately, nothing happened over these few days, which actually gave them a slither of hope that it really was gone. You should never get so comfortable so soon after a poltergeist strikes though, because they can come back at any moment, and this clip proves that.
Okay, I have to start recording because we've started to hear more things around the house, and kind of nervous. Yeah. Okay.
This time, they were hearing noises again, so the father took his camera and walked around in case anything absurd took place. Randomly, some objects were thrown to the ground in the kitchen, and then the distressed child left his room, saying he heard something. As the father panned the camera back to his son, a shadow figure was seen standing abruptly still, and at first, he actually missed this. It was only later when he was scrolling through the footage that he realized how scary this actually was. This time he took action and called a helpline for people suffering from ghosts, but they could only send experts within the next few days. This is why the family had to endure one more haunting before help arrived.
I'm sorry. I've heard... It's been non-stop. I've heard these knocks. I don't know. No. Just, I think you should get away. I think you should go away. I think you should go away. I don't know. I don't know what this is. Okay, no. Okay,
The knocking was persistent and scary, especially for the little girl. I hope for her sake that this is sorted soon, and you subscribe. The nursing home where she worked reception had always had a reputation in town, the kind of place people whispered about but never openly discussed. Residents would sometimes talk about seeing people in their rooms who weren't really there, and more than one nurse had quit after hearing voices in empty hallways. The building itself was old, with long corridors and dim lighting that seemed to swallow sound, and at night it carried an atmosphere that was almost unbearable. She'd gotten used to ignoring the strange things she heard during her shifts, but deep down she knew there was something wrong with the place.
Estaba haciendo en vivo aquí en el asilo de ancianos y se estaban escuchando muchos ruidos. Y mucha gente, cuando me acercaba a la silla de ruedas, notaba que algo se miraba, algo se escuchaba. Vamos a ver la silla de ruedas. No mames. ¿Viste eso? Cuando estaba haciéndole en vivo y yo me acercaba aquí a la silla de ruedas, se cortaba, se escuchaba mucho interferencia, se escuchaban voces. Vean esto, vean. No sé si miraste cómo se movió. Cuando estaba haciéndole en vivo y yo me acercaba aquí, se cortaba. Se escuchaban demasiadas voces. A mí no me gustan las sillas de ruedas porque yo sé que ahí hay mucha energía. No hay nadie del pasillo. Escucha. Escucharon pasos para allá. Ay. ¿Escuchan? Escucha que cerraron la puerta. No sé si escucharon la puerta. Pero aquí siempre hay actividad. Es la primera vez que veo una silla de ruedas aquí. Ponme un comentario si lograste mirar cómo se movió la silla de ruedas. Si es que viste.
In her recording, she explained that a wheelchair had been moving on its own, and as if to prove her point, it suddenly rolled backwards slowly into the middle of the hall. As the camera kept rolling, noises echoed down the corridor, unsettling and unexplainable. Moments later, a door at the far end slammed shut, even though nobody else was supposed to be on the floor. She admitted afterward that this was the first time she truly believed the stories the residents and staff had been whispering all along. And though she tried to finish her shift, she left that night shaken and swore she would never work another late shift again. Beerka and her husband had always been wary of one particular doll sitting on their shelf, a hand-me-down passed through the family that carried a strange history. It was originally gifted to her grandmother, but everyone who'd owned it since claimed it brought nothing but unease with odd noises, cold drafts, and the sensation of being watched. Beerka had always laughed it off, keeping the doll tucked away among other decorations in their living room.
Kiss? It's not a kiss, Isa. Come on, kiss.
Oh well. She tries.
In one video, her husband was filming her as she played around with their pet bird, leaning in to kiss it and laughing while the camera caught the wholesome moment. What Beerka didn't realize was that just behind her, the doll on the shelf shifted on its own, caught clearly in the frame. For extra proof, they later showed another clip of the doll, moving randomly at a different time, confirming it wasn't a coincidence. Shaken by the realization that the family heirloom might actually be cursed, Bayerka has already made plans to get rid of it entirely, convinced that keeping it any longer could put her and her family in danger. Ethan had been working at the sneaker store for a couple of years and loved every minute of it. The thrill of new releases, the energy of customers hunting for the latest drops, and the small joy of arranging the shelves just right made it more than just a job. It was a passion. Most evenings were quiet, giving him time to tidy up or just enjoy the calm after a busy day. One day, while the store was completely empty, Ethan was leaning against the counter scrolling through his phone when something caught his eye on the CCTV monitor. A sneaker on one of the higher shelves suddenly toppled to the floor, clattering loudly despite no one being inside. Startled, he sprinted into the storage room for a moment to collect himself, then cautiously returned to the spot. After a few deep breaths, he picked up the sneaker and carefully placed it back on the shelf, still shaken but trying to rationalize what had just happened. Despite the unsettling moment, Ethan's love for the job didn't waver, though he couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that lingered in the empty store. The story is easy to continue, leaving room for whatever strange encounter might happen next. The next morning, Ethan arrived at the store to begin his shift, still unsettled from the previous night. As he walked in, his eyes immediately landed on a crock lying on the floor, one that had definitely not been there when he locked up. Confused and slightly alarmed, he checked the CCTV footage from the night before. The video clearly showed the sneaker sliding off its shelf and hitting the floor, seemingly on its own, with no one else in the store. Unsure of what to do, Ethan reported the incident to his manager, explaining everything exactly as he saw it. We have no clue what happened after this interaction, but hopefully he got the help he deserves. Marty had been noticing strange things in his home for quite some time, mostly little oddities he couldn't explain. For weeks, the door to his bedroom seemed to move on its own, the handle twisting or rattling as if someone or something were trying to get in. One night, determined to finally capture it on camera, he grabbed his phone and started filming, moving around the room quickly to show that it was completely empty.
It's fucked up, look. Right, I'm going to try and prove this time. I'm going to round the room as quick as I can and prove that no one is in this room. Hang on. How the f is
explain that.
The door handle twisted and turned on its own, but when he stepped inside the room, there was absolutely nothing there. After reviewing the footage, Marty felt a mix of relief and unease. It was clear that whatever had been causing the door to move was real, or at least unexplainable by normal means. He started setting up extra cameras around the house to see if he could capture more activity, and kept a notebook to record the times and patterns of the occurrences. Friends and family were skeptical, but he insisted on documenting everything, hoping to eventually make sense of it. Despite the lingering fear, Marty became more cautious in his home, double-checking doors and windows, and even occasionally leaving a light on at night. The experience left him both fascinated and wary, knowing that the strange activity could return at any moment. Rosanna had been having a fairly quiet night, the kind where everything felt normal and predictable. That is, until she was woken by the sound of a baby crying. Groggy and confused, she got out of bed to check, only to find her laptop in the living room playing the crying sounds, something she hadn't opened or touched. What happened next was horrifying, so take a look.
Arrête. Arrête. Oh Dieu. C'est quoi?
Heart pounding, she followed the noise to the next room. That's when she saw it, a doll, hovering unnaturally in the air, staring at her. After locking eyes with it for a few tense seconds, the doll suddenly dropped to the floor. Shaken, Rosanna stepped into the room to get a closer look, but as soon as she did, the door slammed shut behind her, leaving her trapped in there for a moment. She later admitted that the experience left her rattled, and she began considering professional help to understand what was happening in her home. Ian is still in the abandoned theater that he has been in for several of my videos now, ghost hunting. The air felt colder than before, and the familiar creaks of the old building seemed amplified in the empty space. As he cautiously set down a still camera, a sudden mist appeared briefly on a chair, lingering just long enough to make him freeze. Moments later, another unexplained glow emerged from a different chair across the room, faint, but unmistakable against the darkness. Finally, a drifting light seemed to leave the room entirely, moving toward the hall before fading out of view. Ian left the room shaken, but more determined than ever to uncover the truth behind its eerie occurrences. Carly and her friend were just messing around one evening, laughing and recording random clips for fun. It wasn't even meant for posting, just something to look back on later. Her friend started doing a goofy little dance in the living room, and Carly pulled out her phone to film, both of them already cracking up at how ridiculous it looked.
Y aquí va Lala. Aquí va Lala bailando. Dale, tu cuerpo.
But right in the middle of the dance, something on the shelf behind her friend suddenly fell to the ground. Neither of them were anywhere near it, and there was no way it could have just tipped over by accident. Both girls screamed at the exact same time and bolted out of the room in panic, their laughter instantly turning into terrified shrieks. Later, when they replayed the footage, it only made them more unsettled because it was so clear nothing touched the object at all. What started out as a harmless, funny night turned into the moment they realized something else might be sharing the space with them. She had been lying in bed, scrolling on her phone and trying to relax after a long day when she first noticed it. At first, she thought it was just the house settling, or maybe a neighbor outside. But the dragging noise continued, low and heavy, moving slowly right outside her room. Her stomach dropped as the sound grew closer, scraping against the floor in a way that felt almost intentional.
Estoy preocupada en serio esta vez. Ya me tienen podrida. Las cosas se mueven solas. Estoy recagada hasta las patas, encima estoy sola. Estoy recagada hasta las patas mal. La concha de ya estoy cansada, ya les juro, chicas. ¿Quién sos? Ahí a la concha de la lora. No me dejan en paz. ¡Ay, no! ¡Ay, no!
Just as she gathered the courage to get up and check, the door to her bedroom slammed shut with terrifying force, making her jump out of bed in tears. Shaking, she opened the door again, only to watch as objects across the corridor collapsed violently to the ground, as if something had shoved them over. Before she could process what had just happened, the hallway lights went completely dark, leaving her crying in fear, knowing she was trapped in a place that didn't feel like her home anymore. Jamie worked as a security guard at a local facility, a job that usually came with long hours of silence and empty halls. He was used to creaks, hums, and the usual sounds of a quiet building at night, but one evening something different caught his attention. The noises he heard were far too distinct, making him believe someone might have actually gotten inside. Determined to keep the place secure, he began a search, carefully moving from room to room and even calling out in case it really was an intruder.
I'm gonna catch this son of a bitch. Bear with me, guys. Okay, I'm back. Door was open again. Hello, security! Okay. I don't know how the hell they keep opening these. Hello? Yeah. Hey, you need to come out. I'm not playing anymore. I don't know where the hell these people are, or where. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, call. Just making sure there's nobody in here. Anybody in here? Hello? Yeah, but listen, you got to get out of here. You're going to have to come talk to me, okay? Where you at? I can't see you. You're correct, so you need to come out, okay? You guys hear this? This is broad daylight. I don't know where this kid is. Where are you? That when my video uploaded and what the The lights are flickering on and off. Hang on a second, guys. So, don't know what the hell's going on here, but I'm about to check this out. Okay, guys. I'm really not sure what's going on here. Nope. Yeah, I'm done. This is some spooky shit going on here. Nope. This is why my security officer quit. Just so y'all can be witness here. I'm checking all this shit. I'm getting the hell out of here. This is my day off. I hear leaves crickling and shit. Nope. There was a kid standing, somebody was standing right over here when I walked right past them to the left. And the chapel lights just came on. Hello? Hey, look, if you're just out here fucking with me, you're fixing to end up in jail, you understand? So where are you? Nope, I'm getting the Nope. Hell to the no. Somebody's out here fucking with me, or this is some scary shit. I ain't doing this garbage no more.
What he didn't expect was a ghostly voice to respond to his questions, chilling and clear enough to make him freeze. Convinced at first it must have been a trick, he later checked the CCTV thoroughly, only to confirm that nobody had entered the building or left that entire day. For Jamie, the realization that he had been speaking to something unseen turned an ordinary shift into an encounter he would never forget. This man had long accepted that his house was haunted, but each new occurrence still found a way to shake him. Strange noises echoed through the halls late at night, enough to convince him to grab his camera and investigate yet again.
Voy a grabar porque estoy en mi trabajo y vine a dejar unas cosas, pero aquí siempre se escuchan cosas raras, pero hoy, en el rato que llevo aquí, o sea, de plano ya son ruidos muy raros y voy a ver si puedo grabar algo. Este apagador está atorado, no puedo presionarlo, creo que no sirve y ni siquiera hay focos donde debería de haber. Este es un área como de se almacenan muchas cosas viejas, pero la verdad ahorita yo estoy solito aquí, tengo mucho miedo, mames. ¿Qué fue eso? Ay, no sé si sea buena idea. nada. Ay, no sé qué fue eso. O sea, está súper rarísimo. No sé qué habrá sido, la verdad. Pero donde más se escucha es allá arriba y la neta me están temblando las piernas para subir. No, no mames. Algo se está moviendo allá arriba. No mames. No mames. ¿Qué fue eso? No manches. No mames. ¿Qué fue eso? No mames. No mames. Esto fue lo que se movió. Ay, me está temblando la mano. Uf. Ay. Tengo las orejas hasta calientes. Aquí no. O sea, aquí nadie tiene acceso. O sea, no sube nadie. O sea, ahorita les voy a enseñar que no hay nada. Nada, ni nadie aquí. No mames. De hecho, que está como cerrada. Aquí. No hay nada. Miren aquí desde... No mames. ¿Qué fue eso? No mames. La verdad es que esta luz que está acá fue la que me hizo. No hay nadie. Aquí no sé qué pedo. No mames. ¿Qué fue eso? No manches.
As he reached the base of the attic staircase, the moment turned chilling when a cloth was suddenly pulled straight out of the dark doorway above, as if yanked by invisible hands. Heart pounding, he forced himself to climb the stairs, hoping to find an explanation waiting in the shadows. But when he finally reached the attic, there was nothing there, just the same dusty emptiness that had always been. It was another reminder that the presence in his home wasn't just noise or imagination, it was something unseen that wanted him to know it was there. Jigpoopuff had always been the kind of YouTuber who loved testing the limits of home alone setups, especially late at night when the house was completely quiet. On this particular evening, he decided to film some casual content, unaware that his own walls would soon become part of the show.
Okay, lights turned out again. What is that? This is creepy. Hello? Oh my... Oh.
The lights suddenly cut out, plunging the room into darkness, and a series of strange knocking sounds echoed along the walls. Heart racing, he spun around to check the source, only to catch sight of a painting on the wall, slowly tilting, as if nudged by an invisible hand. The subtle movement was enough to make him step back, realizing that this wasn't just a trick of the eye or a loose frame. Something unseen had made its presence known, turning his quiet night into a chilling encounter. Josh Robillard was driving home late one night after finishing some errands, the streets unusually quiet and misty. As he pulled into his driveway, something caught his eye, a human silhouette standing in one of his upstairs windows. Heart pounding, he quickly got out of the car, unsure if it was a prank, a reflection, or something more sinister.
Okay, so I just got home from work, and there should be nobody at my house right now. I mean, it should be completely empty. But I just pulled up, and what is that? Is that a person? What the fuck is that? Should be nobody in the house. Nobody at all. Okay, well, I guess I'll check it out. Okay.
He approached the house cautiously, peering through the window, but the room was empty. The shadow had vanished, leaving him confused and unnerved. Even after checking every corner, Josh found nothing out of place, but the fleeting glimpse had left a lingering chill that stayed with him the rest of the night, making him question whether he was truly alone in his home. Jorge Cruz had been haunted for a long time, experiencing a string of unexplainable events in his home. In a previous video, he caught a series of noises on camera, objects falling off shelves, and even a cross turning upside down on his mirror, confirming that something was definitely disturbing his household. In this new clip, Jorge attempts to take matters into his own hands. He sets up the camera, explaining his objective: to cleanse the space and force the spirit to leave. Holding holy water and a scripture, he begins saying his plan aloud.
Hello everybody. So today, I want to come here because I know that this room has been having quite a few activities, as you guys all seen, and I do want to have some prayers over this room. I know that, you know, a lot of people has been saying for me to pray. Obviously, I have some holy water, and I also have a Bible to pray over the room as well. So today, I obviously want to read. So today I want to start off by reading real quick. So I start real quick, all right? So we're gonna... Oh hell no. Oh hell.
As he continues, a shadow glides silently above him to his right, causing a chill to run down his spine. Shortly after, a cross on the shelf behind him falls, landing near a photo of his father. Jorge flinches, but continues his prayer, visibly shaken, yet determined. By the end of the recording, the room falls silent, leaving an uneasy calm. Viewers are left questioning whether his efforts had any effect, and the haunting seems far from over. A woman was home alone one night, relaxing on the couch while the TV played in front of her. She was about to get up and put some laundry away when something in the reflection of the screen made her freeze.
So I'm home alone, right? I'm sitting here watching TV. And I'm like, I'm going back to my room. Once again, I just got done doing laundry at my sister's. So I'm about to go put everything up. Home alone with my dogs. And I think it's back.
Clear as day, the reflection showed a dark, demonic-looking figure sitting right next to her on the couch. She whipped her head around instantly, but of course, nothing was there. What makes this worse is that she claims this isn't the first time. It has happened more than once, and each time it leaves her more uneasy about being in her own home. Now she says she can't even relax watching TV anymore without checking the reflections first. A man who had been struggling with strange activity in his home for months finally decided to bring in a medium for answers. After walking through the property, the medium explained that the disturbances were being caused by a haunted object he unknowingly kept in his possession. The problem was, he had no idea what that object could be, and despite searching, he never managed to identify it.
You've been warned. You wanted ghost videos, here they are. In this video, it's at night when he was sleeping and he caught it on his inside living room camera. He lives alone and has started to get poltergeists. And the mediums that he had come in said it's because he has something in his possession that's haunted, but he has no idea what it is and he can't find it. So this is the first of several videos.
On one of his security cameras inside the house, 2 orbs of light can be seen drifting across the room before a nearby door creaks open on its own. Moments later, something even more unsettling appears, a dark mist crawling briefly along the floor before vanishing. The footage left him more unsettled than ever, and without knowing which item was to blame, he feared the activity would only continue. The very next day, after capturing the orbs and the dark mist, the man thought things might calm down, but instead they escalated. Late in the evening, he heard the distinct sound of purring outside his bedroom, assuming it was his cat. Calling its name several times, he grew uneasy when the animal never appeared. Wanting to document what was happening, he pulled out his camera.
Man, you guys really like ghost videos, huh? Holy shit. Just a little caveat, I am not the forefront leader in all things ghost videos. My brother has a few scary videos I thought I'd post. I am not going to be the person you go to for ghost content. With that said, I do have a few more. Here's another video.
Felix. Felix.
As he approached the door ahead of him, a shadowy figure could be seen lingering in the small crack where the door met the frame. The sight made his breathing quicken, and after a few tense moments, the door suddenly swung shut on its own, with the shadow shifting out of view as it did. This moment left him shaken, especially since the purring sounded so similar to his actual cat, and his cat never returned to that hallway. Before this unsettling cat clip even took place though, the man had actually experienced something just as disturbing. Earlier that same night, he noticed a strange reflection shifting outside his room, almost like a figure was standing there in the dim light. Gripped by unease, he quickly snapped a photograph, unsure of what he would capture. When he looked at the picture, his heart sank.
Ghost, and more ghost. I gotcha. I have a few more videos. I love that everybody is so involved and into all of the different videos and hauntings of my brother's apartment. I've set this one up because it's pictures, so before I get all of the comments of this is fake, it's not. I don't have enough time on my hands to try to fake this. Neither does my brother. So I try to set it up pretty well. I have one more video after this, and then they'll start trickling in slowly because he doesn't get haunted on an hourly basis. So let me know what you think of this one. This one actually freaked me out more than all of the videos, and the videos were pretty fucking freaky. So here you go.
Felix.
The photo clearly showed the outline of a shadow figure, standing just outside his room on the stairs that clearly couldn't be stood on, its shape warped and unnatural against the hallway wall. He described the image as one of the most frightening things he had ever seen, because unlike a fleeting video clip, a photograph meant the figure had been truly present, caught in that exact moment in terrifying clarity. After that chilling photograph, the house fell eerily quiet for a few days. No knocks, no shadows, no strange sounds in the night. For a brief moment, the man began to hope that whatever presence had been tormenting him was finally gone. But deep down, the silence didn't bring comfort, but it only made him more anxious, like the calm before a storm. Every creak of the floorboards or hum of the pipes kept him on edge, waiting for the next unexplainable moment to shatter the fragile peace. The uneasy calm didn't last. One day, while he was working quietly at home, the peace finally broke.
You guys want more? All right, here's ghost video number 2. For those that are joining, my brother's house is haunted. He lives by himself. He's been haunted for a few years now, actually, and it's all because a medium once told him he has an item in his house that is possessed and are haunted, and until he gets rid of that, the hauntings are going to continue. So until he figures out what that item is, because he has no idea, we're going to keep getting these videos, and I'll keep posting them because everyone seems to like them, and they freak me the hell out. So here's number 2.
A camera positioned in the top corner of the room caught the bathroom lights slowly turning themselves off and then back on again, as though someone unseen was playing with the switch. Before he even had time to process it, a door from across the house slammed shut with such force that it echoed through the rooms, making him jump out of his chair. The suddenness of it all left him shaken, and it became clear the haunting hadn't ended. It was only biding its time. Bruno had always cherished a small toy skateboard that sat proudly on the kitchen table, a gift from his grandfather before he passed away. That night, while idly playing with it, he suddenly felt the strange urge to start filming, as if something inside him knew something was about to happen.
¡Bruno! ¡Bruno! Se movió la silla.
¿Leal?
Sí.
Era Jorge.
Tipo, este arquiteta.
Era Jorge.
As the camera rolled, the chair adjacent to him suddenly slid back from the table all on its own, the scraping sound sending chills through the air. Terrified, Bruno immediately bolted to find his brother, and the two returned cautiously to the kitchen to see what had happened. Just as they stepped inside, the door to the room slammed shut with such force it shook the frame. The brothers were left frozen, staring at each other in disbelief. Afterwards, Bruno admitted he couldn't shake the feeling that his grandfather's presence might somehow be tied to the event, though whether it was a warning, a sign, or something darker, he wasn't sure. A group of friends were sitting around together, just enjoying a relaxed conversation with no tension in the air. No odd vibes, just the usual banter you'd expect on a quiet night. Everything felt perfectly normal until a sudden bang came from the cupboard nearby. Curious rather than alarmed, one of them pulled out her phone to film.
El suelo. El suelo. Takot nih, takut nih. Gimana ini balikinnya? Angin, Ray. Enggak ada. Kosong, coy. Ketahuan nih.
The camera caught one of the cupboard doors slowly creaking open on its own, making everyone go silent for a moment. The woman holding the camera cautiously stepped closer to check, but as soon as she peeked inside, she jumped back in fear, letting out a sharp gasp. Whatever she saw wasn't clear on camera, leaving only the sound of her reaction to go by. Tell me in the comments if you can make out what scared her. Esther had gone to her father's grave on the 5th anniversary of his passing, just as she did every year. She always made sure to clean up around the headstone, refill the plant pot, and spend some quiet moments reflecting. But on this particular visit, something strange unfolded.
Aquí no hay aire. Una pequeña tumba donde tuve un reglete que tira. Estuve insistiendo, yo pedí quien quisiera, con todo el respeto, de mí hacia ellos y de ellos hacia mí, obviamente. He visto 3 regletes distintos que giren. No hay aire. Sigo insistiendo, fue mínimo aire como para que el reglete gire de esta manera. Lo ilógico es que gire regletes y hasta apenas inicia a moverse. No hay aire. Miren, ahí hay unas plantas. No sé si alcanzan a ver que no hay movimiento de las plantas. Pero aquí, sin embargo, hay un reglete. Aquí estoy. Ya paro en automático. Voy a girar. Para eso me acerco y cuando gira, este pequeño reglete. Voy a intentar leer su nombre. Creo que no logro distinguir bien su nombre, pero aquí está el reglete girando. Lo curioso es que justo ahora que hay un poco de aire, cuando hay un poco de aire se para. ¿Ya fijaste? El otro es completamente estático, no es broma, vean. Voy a retirarme para que vean. No, ahorita va a girar. Está estático. Le voy a pedir. Ay, Dios, no puedo leer tu nombre porque no quiero mover tus regletes. Pero muéveme uno. Pueden moverme los dos, te lo voy a agradecer. Eso lo extraño. Solo uno mueve y el otro no. Sí, no. Solo alcanzó a distinguir bien estrada. Voy a parar un poco el video.
Sitting on the grave were 2 wind spinners side by side. Despite there being no wind at all, only one of them began to spin slowly and steadily, while the other remained completely still. The odd contrast made the moment feel eerie, almost as if it were deliberate. Esther couldn't help but wonder if it was her father reaching out to her in some subtle way, a small sign of communication from beyond. A ghost hunter had been hired to investigate an old house with a reputation for being haunted, and although he'd been skeptical at first, he was willing to take the job for the payout. For the first stretch of his exploration, the place seemed quiet, nothing more than creaky floors and dusty rooms. But just as he was starting to think it was going to be a wasted trip, something chilling unfolded. After searching room to room for a few minutes, he suddenly stumbled upon a child's rocking horse in one of the corners, moving back and forth as if an invisible child were sitting on it. The sight froze him in place, the steady motion far too deliberate to be explained by air or movement. He whispered nervously to himself, backing away slowly, before finally turning and walking off in fear, not daring to stay in that room any longer.